Hi, I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Theory Tuition series where I'm working with you step by step through each of the ABRSM Theory grades. There are lots of resources available to help you if you visit my website. If you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets and you can download those in US letter or A4 and they accompany each step of this series. You'll find a page there with links to all of my YouTube video tutorials, and you can also find information about the books I have available. I've written an exam technique guide, how to take your ABRSM Music Theory Exam. It's full of tips and techniques on how to best prepare for your exam and also how to make the best use of your time when you're working through your paper on exam day. So if you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find it all there. If you can give me a like, that would be super, and please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated. There's lots more to come. And now we're going to continue with the 2014 Grade 1 Paper S. So if you turn with me to page 15, and we're going to continue from question 5. So question 5 asks us to name the degree of the scale on each of these notes marked with a little star. We're told that the key is G major, so we're counting from G as the first degree of the scale. And so there's a number of ways you can do this. We can either count from G, every good. G is 1, A is 2, B is 3. 1, 2, 3, line, space, line. And that will give us the degree of the scale as we count up the steps from G. Remembering to always include G as number 1. Or you can double check that if you just write out the steps of the scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we can see that this is every good boy. The B is the third degree of the scale. So you can double check it that way as well. So here we go. We know this is the third. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we can see that E is the 6th, F-A-C-E, so we know that's correct, that's the 6th. Now here, if E is the 6th one, up from that, F is the 7th. I know it's an F sharp, but that doesn't change the fact that it's the 7th degree of the scale. If we count from G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we can see there's the F, so that's the 7th. And then we've gone up from the 7th, one more, which takes us home again to the 8th, to G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we can either say octave, or we can say 8th, or we could even say first. It's all kind of one and the same. We've gone full circle all the way up to G. Let's carry on. So counting from G, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's F-A-C, so you can see that C is the 4th, so that's the 4th. So here if G is 1, A is 2, we've just gone next door up a step to a second. Now here we're going from G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to D, which we can see is the 5th. Oh, I've missed one, sorry, go back one. Every good boy. 1, 2, 3, that's the 3rd. There's the G, G-A-B, dearie me. 1, 2, 3, and you can see actually we've already done that one. They've given us that one straight away, so you can double check that's your 3rd, and you can see there that B is the 3rd. Sorry, I skipped ahead there. And then now to the last one. This is our G, and so we've gone again. We can either call it the 1st, octave, or we can call it 8th. So there we go. So now we need to give the time name of the shortest rest in the melody, the rest, not the notes. So we've got a rest here and a rest here. This is a 1 beat rest, this is a half a beat rest. This is the shortest one, and that's a quaver rest, or alternatively you could call it an 8th note rest. There we go. So let's press on to the next question. So we're asked to add the correct clef, so that's one thing, And then we're also asked to add any sharp or flat signs, so that's another thing, to make each of these scales below. We're asked not to use key signatures, we've got to add accidentals. Now, in order for this to be D major, of course it must begin and end on D. And so for that to be the case, it'll have to be bass clef, good boys deserve. Otherwise, if you put that in treble clef, that would be a B, and D major does not begin on a B, it begins on a D. Now then, D major we know has a key signature of F sharps and C sharps. So D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. That's that done. So the next one we have to do is G major. So we need it to begin and end on a G, and for that to be the case, we need it to be in treble clef. Every good boy says football is the line, G is the space, so we need that to be in the treble clef. And now we need to be aware that G major would have a key signature of F sharps, and we need to put that as an accidental. However, if you had a little bit of a crisis of confidence and you thought, oh, I can't quite remember what G major is, if you look back to question 4 that you completed earlier, it's on a previous video, you can see that they've even told you here in question 4 that G major has a key signature of F sharps. So if you remember what you've done in this question here, you already know the answer here. So if this is a G, down a step, there's our F sharp. Every good boy deserves football. So sometimes the answers can be found in other questions if you can just see it. So then let's look at this next question. So question 7. We're asked to draw a circle around the higher note of these pairs, and then in the next part we're asked to draw a circle around the lower note. Now you need to remember that a sharp raises by a semitone and a flat lowers by a semitone. So comparing a natural to a sharp, the sharp is the higher because it's raised by a semitone. If you want to just double check that, it's easiest to visualise it on a piano keyboard. We've got a C and a C sharp. There's the C natural, C sharp raises it by a semitone, so you can see that it's the higher one if it's been given the sharp sign. So a flat lowers by a semitone, therefore the natural must be higher than the flat. If we just look at that, there's A flat. You can see that the A natural is the higher of the two, and so we can continue in that manner. A sharp raises by a semitone, so that must be the higher one. A sharp raises by a semitone, so that must be the higher of the two. And if a flat lowers by a semitone, the natural must therefore be the higher one. And now we're going to look at for the lowest of the pair. So if a flat lowers by a semitone, we can see that a flat is lower than the natural. If you want to just double check that, you can see E flat is lower than E natural. And so likewise, this flat is lower than the natural. This natural must be lower than the sharp, because remember, if a sharp raises, that's note F, F and F sharp. So F sharp is raised, F natural is lower by a semitone because the sharp raises by a semitone. Therefore the natural must be the lower of the pair. A flat lowers by a semitone, so the flat must be the lower of the pair. And if a sharp raises by a semitone, the natural must be the lower of the pair. So that's that question completed. We'll have a look at the last question in the next video. I do hope that this is helpful to you. These past papers are excellent opportunity for revision and just getting to consolidate the knowledge that you've worked through in your music theory and practice workbook. If you can give me a like, that would be fab. Please subscribe to my channel to keep updated. Please do go to sharonbill.com and make use of all the information and resource that's available to help you there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.